Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Academy. This is Krishi Agarwal who is instructing you in your different programs like when you are working on Java, okay, you have different issues while working. You think about some logic but you're unable to implement it, right? So today I will give you one particular program in which you will be entering integers into your file using list interface and the array list class. So there are different things that we will be covering today, and we will look on different concepts of Java. First is file handling, the second is exception handling, and third is your collection APIs. That means a file where we will be writing the data, a list interface, okay, for where we will be actually asking the user to add your inputs, okay, that is to store your integers in a list with the help of your array list class. And why we are handling the file, okay, we use exception handling concept so that if any error during the runtime occurs, we are able to identify it and execute. Okay, so let's begin with this. What is the basic requirement? First, I have created one new text file, okay, which is of my integer type, okay, which is stored in desktop currently. And then I'll use an Eclipse, okay, in which I will create my class to handle that file. That means to write data into my file. So I'm taking one new, going to new, and then go to my class. I'm giving the name for my class as file handle 1. Okay, and I'm also saying I'll use my main function to do the things, no object creation, nothing, only with the help of main function I will be executing all the things, right? So once we get this, we have a class created which is a file name, a file handle 1, and one main function created in it, right? Now what I need is, I need file handling concept. That means I will be requiring a class that is file writer. When we say file writer, that means we are going to write something inside our file. Currently you can see my file is empty, nothing is written in it, right? And I have to write data into this file, and that too an integer type of data using a list interface, okay? And if I say file writer is a class which is present inside my package info java io, that is io is a package within which I have file writer class. So for that I need to import java.io, and I have different things, see, coming into my category. So I can say file writer, I have one file writer class available in my io package, right? So I have created one. Now, if I am writing file writer inside my main function, I need to create object of this. So I have created one object, fw equals to new. Simple how we create objects for all the classes in that we are accessing, right? In that same way, we will be doing this file writer, and in this we will pass the path of our file. That means where we are going to store our file, okay, our file, which file we are going to access, that particular file's path we will be adding here. So coming on and clicking on to right click and go to properties of my new text file. So I'll get location over here. Simply I'll go ahead, copy the location into my field, okay, and then I'll also mention new txt. That means new is the file name and it is of txt extension. So this, right? Now why it is giving me an error? So see every step one by step, one by one, so that you understand it. Because we are using a file writer class, we need throws exception, okay, io exception to be thrown if any error occurs. And io exception is a part of our io java.io field again. So what we can do is Rather than importing all different files again and again, we can just say import java.io.star. Now all the classes of my input output package are present inside my class, right? Again and again mentioning file writer, then I'll go ahead with using buffered writer, then multiple things I will be using again and again. Okay, so to access all the things at one go, I'll just say IO, and then I'll go ahead with star. Star gives else that all the particular things present inside my package will be now a part of my class, right? Now to improve efficiency of this, I can go ahead and say I need buffer writer class. Okay, and its object I will create again and say new. Okay, and then buffered writer. Now I'll pass fw over here, right? So that means I am using fw as a reference for my bw. That means for buffered writer, I'm using file writer's object as a reference to work upon. Now I can refer to my file, that is new text txt with the help of bw. Okay, now going ahead, what is one more thing I require? I told I will be using list interface. So list interface is something that we have which is present inside your iterable interface. Okay, it provides you to implement your different data structures with the help of predefined classes, object methods and variables that is present inside your classes. Okay, so list is an interface which is a part of your iterable interface. That is the main iterable is your main interface. Okay, and then the iterable interface is a part of your package import java.util. Okay, and then again I'll go ahead and say I need all these things because I will require scanner class again. So rather than mentioning again different things, okay, we can just mention it one go, that is the star. Then I'll say list integer. I want to create a list, okay, which is of integer type and whose name is num. Okay, num is the integer list name, and I will be creating this for an array type of list. And again, this array type of list is of integer type. And array list is a class that is present inside my list interface. Okay, so based on the list type of the data you want to enter inside your list, you mention over here the data type for that particular list. Okay, so you have to define this. I have now created this list, okay, which holds nothing inside it. It is that we will get the reference or the memory allocation in my RAM when I will execute this program. Okay, now what I need is I want to enter two integers inside my file, right? I want to enter two integers inside my file using this list. So first of all, I'll create a scanner class object so that I can easily ask the user to enter the data, right? Saying system.in. Okay, the last thing. Then I'll go ahead and say num. Before that, I'll say what user has to enter. Okay, use print ln, and then I'll say enter first number, right? And I'll go ahead and use one function of list, that is add. This particular function allows you to add your required data into the list. It doesn't means it will be multiplying it. It means, it will be adding the two things. Okay, sum producing the addition of that. It will actually insert your number, okay, at the next index. So I'll say sc.next int, okay, to store my value. First value will be added, okay, first value you will accept from the user, and at that same time you will be adding it into your list. Now I'll copy this again full, and I'll say now please enter the second number. Okay, that's great. Now moving ahead, I need to store this particular list integers, okay, list of integers into my file, which is new.txt. So I have already declared my file writer class where I have related my file new txt with my program. Okay, now I'll create a try block. Try block says that I need a catch block at the end. If any error occurs, I can actually throw it, and my catch block can catch it and tell you what error actually it has come across. Okay, simple. I'm saying system.out.println e. So that means if any error occurs during uh, adding your list data into your file, okay, that time please let me know if any error is coming. Now, why this statement is giving you an error in your catch block? Because currently I have not written anything inside my try block. So let me write what I have to do. So I'm saying I'll run a loop for 0 I equals to 0 and I is less than num dot size. Now size is again a function available inside your list class, okay, list interface. It is a part of your, you see, I'll show you 1 minute. Okay, see util.list.size. So list is a interface present inside your util package, and size is a function that is a part of your list, right? Now why it is giving me an error again? See, because I have declared I, but I have not I have used I everywhere, but I have not declared it. So I'll say int I. Now this is not an error. Okay, I'll come down for my for loop. Now I'll say bw dot write. Bw dot write is a function for me which allows you to write the content inside your file. Okay, there are multiple types of it. We are not going inside it because you can simply just go ahead and pass your strings in it or character in it or your numbers in it. It will go and add the content into your file. Okay, now what I want to add is first value of my list should be added first, and then the second value of the list should be written at the next line. Okay, so how are we going to do this? If I say num dot get I, okay, if I say num dot get I, this is a get is another function which will return you the data that is present inside your list. Okay, now if I will execute this, this will give me an error because I'm storing something into my file. Now let's see if it gives me an error or not. Okay, we need to check each and every line. So first thing, I'll add some numbers. So it is not giving me an error. Now let us check if it got stored or not. Right? We'll open the file. See, it is not coming. Or we will again try to refresh. Maybe it comes. No, it is not coming. So what happens? Over here, your data is not getting added to it. Okay? You have related your file, everything is working fine, but still something is going wrong. So I can use a string to function to convert this data, whatever it is coming from the list, into a string type and then passing it and trying to store it into my file. We'll run this again. Okay, I'll enter 1, 2. Now let us check whether this will work for me or not. Okay, see, it's again not working. Now let's go ahead and try to implement something new in this. So what we are adding over here is bw.close. That means we will close the object also for this particular buffered writer class. And once we close bw, fw automatically gets closed. Now let us see what happens when we are trying to enter the data. Okay, and I'm entering 45 something, okay, 39. So see, and console panel, I'm getting the result as 45, 30, 39. That means I have displayed this num, okay, that means my list in on my console panel. And now let us check whether my data is getting added into my field, okay, added into my text field or not. See, it is getting added. But the difference over here comes is, if I will access this, okay, if I want to read it and then want to add the data inside it, okay, whatever the numbers we are giving, it should get added. That means some of it should be displayed at the end. But that is not possible because this will be treated as your string type of data, and you will be counting your space also. Now space cannot be written as your integer, okay, it cannot represent integers. So one thing we'll do over here is we'll go ahead and say \n. So this means every time you will add a value or integer to your file, okay, from the list, the you'll go to your next cursor, okay, to the next line. Like currently your data is coming in one line and then you're adding some space in it, okay. So to avoid this, I will say 45 in one line, then in next line 39 should come. So I'm trying to access an integer type of data into my file, okay. Once, let me run this, then I'll show how it is working. Now I'm saying please enter the data 1 and 6, okay. So in my list 1 and 6 is fast, okay. But in my file, how my data is going now, how it is being written. Now this is 1 and 6. Now there is no space in between. Now there is no single character, okay, any character is not present. So now this is very perfect to access your integers from file and then manipulate the data. This we will see in the next class, okay. I hope you got this particular program, how you will be entering two inputs from the user, okay, two integers from the user, storing it into your num, that is your list, and then asking it to be printed just to check if list has got all the elements in it or not. And then we'll use a catch block, catch and try block, that is exception handling concept we are using over here, and then trying to run a for loop that is from I0 to the size of my list, okay. And then every time incrementing I after adding my data into my file. And how I am doing that, bw.write and get num.get I, that means whatever the value is present inside my integer, okay, in my integer list should come, and it should be written into my file. After that, the cursor should go down into the next line, and then I will close my object, that is your buffered object, and which will ultimately lead you to close your FW, because we are now working with the references. I hope you like this video and it was helpful for you. If it was, then do subscribe me, and I'll make sure that you get more effective programs. Okay, so meet you in the next session. Bye.